Hello everybody, welcome back to Mondays with Mover. I am Mover cwlemoine, author of the Spectre series and the Alex Shepard series. Hope you're having a great holiday season and had a Merry Christmas. Today's episode, I recently went out to Portland on a layover and decided to stop by the Vans RV factory just outside in Aurora and got the factory tour. The weather was too bad to actually go flying. I'm planning on doing that in a future episode, but did get to check out how they make the parts for the kit and get a factory tour as well as sit in some of the airplanes for the first time. So hope you enjoy it. Thanks for watching. Greg Hughes for Vans.
Yep.
Right? We're going to take the tour.
Here we are in the factory, in the warehouse right now. You're familiar with the different airplane models, right?
Yep.
So there's really three generations of RV kits, right? The early kits were hand drawings on paper, so 3, 4, 6 was very much a lot of fabrication followed by assembly.
Yep.
The current generation, which would be pretty much 10, especially 12, 14, is matched hole, final size holes in the 12 and 14.
Wow.
Almost all the holes are in the entire kit. So you can literally take the parts, deburr them, clean things up a little bit, start clecoing them together, and start assembly.
Wow.
So there's a lot less fabrication compared to the early kits. The second generation or the middle generation kits is like the 7, 8,
Yeah.
9. The 10 is kind of one of those in betweens.
Yeah.
And so you see the difference between the way things started and where they are today is an evolutionary process, but the kits today go together a lot faster, and they're a lot more consistent in terms of an end result. So an RV14, for example, which is the newest model to be sold,
Right.
is we have as a husband and wife, for example, that built an RV14A. They started it last year, built it and finished it together in 14 months.
14 months.
And people that don't recognize this is that we have bags of hardware that will go with the kit. So this is a 12 tailcone, empennage tailcone kit hardware bag right here. And then those are being shipped along with kits. And here what we see...
Do you ship extra? Because sometimes you end up with more parts than you need when you build stuff.
There is often some extra hardware.
Yeah.
So, it's not unusual to have extra hardware provided. Behind you, for example, there's a finished it's a quick build kit.
So that's what a quick build kit looks like when it shows up at your door?
That is...
Shows up at your door, yeah.
So now we're moving into the part of the warehouse where we store and basically keep track of the quick build system. So if you look up here on this rack, you'll see different model quick builds, and also on the rack behind you, over this way.
Wow.
So quick build RV10 fuselages and 14 fuselages. There's an RV8 fuselage up top. Over here you'll find a whole bunch of quick build RV10 and some more 14, 14A fuselages.
Where parts are made.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we just left the warehouse. This is the factory.
Okay.
If we're dividing things up, that's where we are now. This is actually our newest piece of equipment. So this is a Haas VF10 CNC mill. It's a 4-axis CNC mill.
Wow.
What it allows us to do, though, going forward, because we haven't had this in-house before, is it allows us to think about the way that we make parts in a different way.
Yeah.
Rapid prototyping, if we need to be able to build a prototype part that we want to be able to put into an airplane tomorrow or the next day, if we can come down here and do an overnight run on a part and have it ready to go into, say, the RV15 prototype, if we want to do that, we can turn that around and do it really quickly. And if it doesn't quite work, then we can re-engineer it. Everything's a solid model now. Right?
Wow.
So we can re-engineer that, ship the code down here over the network, have the team go ahead and bang that part out, carve that part out, if you will, on the mill, take that part, carry it back to the prototype shop, and work with it.
Yeah.
So it gives us the ability to, from a regular production perspective, to have a little tighter and a little closer control over schedules, specific tolerances, if you will, of what's produced, but also, and probably at least as important, is it gives us the opportunity to be able to build things differently because the technology is easily and readily and real-time available to us to be able to do it.
So you mentioned RV15. That's what Tom Cruise is flying at the end of the Top Gun trailer in the spacesuit? Is that what we just revealed?
If Tom Cruise is flying an RV-15. probably have to be CGI.
Nice.
Sorry, Tom.
Triggered. Everyone is now triggered. Good job.
Yeah, I can tell you for a fact that the answer to that question was no.
Oh, not a hypersonic jet. Okay.
So here's an example of what this part looks like when it comes out flat out of the punch machine, which
Yep.
we're going to see in a little bit. And then here is what that part looks like when it's finished. Now this part has the holes already in it. The vast majority of the parts that we make are created on these 3 machines here. The one that's over here is about 25 or so years old.
Wow.
The one that's behind us over here is about half that old right here. And then the newest one is Trump's the 5000 here is just about a year old now.
Wow.
This thing can punch a 2-inch hole in a sheet of about 1/4-inch steel in a single strike.
This is the best part. Oh, this is the best part. This is what I came for.
So this is where the magic ends up.
This is the magic. What is, well, so, all right, so
In here right now, we have the one right in front of us here is the RV-14A.
what is the difference between an RV-14 and an RV-7 and an RV-9? Because they all are side by side, right? And
Yeah, and in fact, we have, well, we don't have this. We have an RV-9A is the blue and yellow one down here.
okay.
This is the RV-14A.
Yeah.
This is the RV-14, so it's the tail dragger version, whereas the 14A has tricycle gear.
Yep.
And that's for the airplanes that are available one way or the other.
Yeah.
A means tricycle gear,
Okay.
and the non-A means tail dragger.
RV-8A.
It's an RV-8A, right? That one obviously
Yeah.
is not flying, right? This is an example of an RV-12IS. This will be going to a customer.
So this is one that you guys can build.
This is one that we just finished building.
So you built this
We did.
as a certificated, is that the word?
Certificated.
Certificate.
It's a special light sport, SLSA aircraft. Wow. And it is therefore usable for commercial use, like by a flight school, as a rental. You know,
That is a
be
good looking airplane right here.
Yeah, the 14A is, and the 14 is the newest airplane, right? So it's the most refined kit, very much an assembly process as opposed to a fabrication process. But this is the one, this model right here is the one that we were talking before. There was a husband-wife team that built theirs in about 14 months. The other cool story about that is they built it, they did some of their test flying, they got the 40 hours flown off, and then they jumped in it with another airplane on their wing with their friend who's an ordained minister, and they were actually, when they took off, they weren't husband and wife, but when they landed, they were.
Nice.
So that's pretty cool. And also this year we've had a number of reports of RV-14s and RV-14As that were started and finished and flown for the first time in right at 11 to 12 months.
Well, can we check this one out? I want to check them all out.
course we can.
I just want to look at airplanes.
This particular one has a Dynon panel in it.
Can I step up in it?
Of course you can.
Anybody gonna be mad
Just
at
step
me?
on up. Just make sure you watch your
No
watch
step.
your step.
Don't no step.
I think you know what you're doing. So
Yeah, I usually step on everything they tell me not to. What's the ballast box?
So ballast box, that's actually what we use, part we use for when we're doing testing.
Oh.
So all of the airplanes that you're seeing in here, with the exception of this RV-12 that's built for the customer, all of the other airplanes that are in here are the first one. So this is the first RV-14A. We have the first RV-14, the very first RV-10, and the first RV-9 are all in here.
Can I sit in it?
Sure, of course.
I'm in the wrong seat, right?
Well, not if you're the instructor.
Yeah, right. Whoa. This thing's got room.
It is one of the reasons that we built this airplane was specifically to make it more roomier. So relative, you asked what's the difference between this and an RV-7, for example. It does have more shoulder room. It's got more headroom. You have more room to put things in the baggage. And the reason is that this rail that you're looking at right here is lower than it is in an RV-7. In an RV-7, it's going to be a little bit higher.
Yeah.
So you have just a little more room. But what we heard with the RV-7 was great airplane, and it's a great airplane.
Yep.
But you know, I wish it was a little bit bigger.
Is this like the RV-10 that's made for up to 6'4" people?
Yeah, it's basically made for bigger people.
Look at this. This is so. Can my dogs fit back here?
Yeah, you could. I mean,
How would I get them back in there though?
well, you can fold that. So reach over on the seat next to you there and just pull it forward.
Yeah, they're big boys though.
Yeah,
I may have to go look at the RV10.
we'll do that.
Is this so? This closes.
Sure.
Which way? Just straight down?
There's a handle right behind you.
Oh yeah. Okay. There's so much more room for activities. I can.
It's a big airplane.
Wow.
It's quite a room here. It's a very comfortable. It's also a very stable, great performing airplane.
Is this one aerobatic?
Yes, it is. It is aerobatic.
It is aerobatic. Okay.
Most of our airplanes models are aerobatic. There's a couple that are not. The RV-10, which is the 4-place airplane, is non-aerobatic, and the RV-12 is not, and the RV-9 is not. So you asked what's the difference between a 7 and a 9, for example. It's actually the same fuselage and cockpit, but a different wing. So in the RV-9, the wing is a thicker wing, and so it's more efficient, go to high altitudes, lower power engine.
Cross
so
country.
Like a 320 instead of a 360 on the engine. It's more of a go high, cruise quick, cross country flyer.
Yeah, it's your $100 hamburger. I don't need to
That's
go
what it
upside
is.
down. I just need to go places. Wow, this is amazing. This is, and so the avionics suite. This is kind of what people do. I mean, you guys don't do this part, right? This is.
So for the RV-12, we define the avionics. Unless somebody wants to build it as an experimental amateur built airplane, in which case they can do whatever they want. But if you're building it as a light sport aircraft, ELSA is when you build it, SLSA is when we build it. Then we have a set. You can choose either the Garmin G3X touch system, single screen or dual screen, or you can choose the Dynon HDX, Skyview HDX system, which is what you see here in this RV-14. In the RV-14, there are a couple companies that make pre-made panels for this with Dynon and Garmin and Advanced Fly System avionics in them, for example. But you can choose and orient things and position them and choose what equipment you want. It's completely up to you. The RV-10 is right behind, which is the 4-seat airplane.
Let's go check that out.
All right.
What's the one on the hanger there?
So the one that you see hanging from the ceiling is the only example of an RV-5, or the RV-5. That's it.
Thus the November 5 Romeo Victor.
Right, so that airplane was just very recently, we restored that. Ryan Johnson is our chief engineer.
Yep.
He started as an intern here many years ago, few decades ago. And over the years, he's had the project of restoring this RV-5, and we spent quite a bit of time working on it this past summer. Got it put together. We actually took this to Oshkosh on a truck. Trucked it to Oshkosh and had it on display there. Nobody had ever seen it before, so we actually had it there in person. It was kind of fun. So we brought it back. It now has a new engine that's put on it and the props put on it. It really just needs a fuel line and a couple of tests, and then it's ready to fly. It's winter time here right now.
Yeah.
It's cold, icy, and rainy.
It was nasty flying
So
in.
we slowed down a little bit, but that airplane will fly again,
What?
and we'll shoot some video of it when it happens.
That's
It'll be
awesome.
kinda
Do you
neat.
guys have a channel? You need one.
Sure, we're on YouTube.
All right. Well, let's look at this
RV-10.
RV-10
You should
because.
just, I'll hold that. You go climb in.
All right.
There you go.
You can tap it if you need it.
All right, here he goes.
This is all about the dogs, right? Because I got big dogs.
Oh, if you got big
I
dogs,
want
then
big dogs to go fly
like
with
this one.
Can they fit?
So the back seats can come out if you want them to.
Yeah.
If you can load your dogs through the baggage door, it's a pretty good sized baggage door. Otherwise, you can get them up on here and just have them hop in the back.
Oh, wow. You talk about room for activities.
It's a good sized airplane.
This is.
So I've flown a lot of different airplanes in my time. I mean, I know I'm a little bit biased,
Back in my day.
but boy, am I day. The RV-10 is a true, it's not just a 4-seat airplane, a 4-place airplane. It's a 4-person airplane.
Is this really the flaps on your stick?
Yes,
What?
it's electric flaps.
That's so crazy.
Yeah.
What's control wheel steering?
Control wheel steering is GPS.
Oh, yeah. It's just like that 737 then.
That's exactly
Wow.
what it is. It's an
Wow.
full CWS.
I,
So this airplane, you can put 4 full-size adults, full fuel, and baggage load up, and be at or under gross weight and go fly. And when you do that, it'll still take off and climb like crazy. and take off short and land short.
Close this real quick. I want to see how much room you got.
Lots.
This is. Look at look at the visibility. You can see. Oh, he locked me in. Oh, I'm stuck now. I guess it's just mine. You just got so much. And the seat goes. What is the?
So the
I'm
seat-
actually not that tall.
Yeah, the seat is adjustable. So, and I'll hold that for you while you do it. With your right hand, on the side of the seat, there's a lever.
Yep.
If you pull up,
Yep.
and then you can grab that handle on the panel. Right there. Pull up and slide. There you go.
The rudder pedals. Oh, this is perfect.
Slides right forward. When you build this airplane,
You built it to what you want.
it's got the adjustable, but the rudder pedals, there's actually 3 stations for rudder pedals. And you can choose whether you want them to be as far forward or in the middle or in the back. Right now, the stations that you got your feet on, those rudder pedals are hung on the middle station.
Can you go lower in the seat? Like when you build it, can you build it a little
So
bit?
the way you would do that is by adjusting the thickness of the cushions. But it doesn't have a vertical adjustment, mechanical adjustment, but you can do that with the cushions.
I want to prove how much room's back there.
All right.
So how do I get back there?
Well, you just climb in. So the back seat of this airplane has the same amount of room as the front seat of this airplane. There you go.
Okay, so I get to ride in the back today. 'Cause that's just
The back of that airplane is like a living room.
holy shit!
I know. That's what I said.
Jesus Christ!
So with the seat,
This is more than my Yukon.
with the with the seat in the forward position like you have it now for somebody with a little bit shorter legs, there's actually more room in the back seat than there is in the front seat.
Dude! Can
So-
I just ride back here? And it's got USB ports!
Oh, of course it does.
How does it? How would I? So what would I do with my dogs? Because they can't. Like I put something, lay something down or something.
Yeah, you could lay something down. So what people generally do with dogs is, so if it's 2 people traveling with their dogs, you can put a crate back here. That works pretty well, or a couple of crates.
By removing the seats, or just by flipping them down, or what?
You can just take the seats out.
Okay.
They'll come out. And then, but the other thing you could do, right, is you can have them in the seats. What we really recommend, it doesn't matter what airplane you're in, right, is you want to restrict your dogs so they can't come forward.
Correct.
Hit the controls.
They
And so
cannot fly. My dogs don't know how to fly yet.
Yeah, well, so there are guys that have had experiences where
Yeah.
they'll have a dog in the back, and the dog gets excited and comes over into the front seat from the baggage compartment, and that can create a bit of a.
Is the baggage compartment open? Let's go look at that.
Sure. So here you go.
Here's the
I
key.
hate to hand this to you because I know it's painful to have to hand it
This
back.
is my key. No, this is mine now. Thank you.
All right.
I'd like to thank the Academy. I can't even open this thing, so that
It's because you're shaking so much from your experience.
from excitement. Well, KVR is not fitting through this hole. Sniper might. So you could put a rollerboard back here, or 2.
Oh yeah. Or 3 or 4.
Okay, what's the useful load of this
So,
monster?
Of course, it's going to vary depending on how you equip the airplane.
Yep.
Right. But typical useful load is around 1,100 pounds.
Wow.
Give or take. A little bit more, tiny bit less.
4 adults and some bags.
4 adults,
Yep.
100 pounds of baggage, full fuel, and typically still be able to go and take off and fly. Well,
Continue. This is an RV
RV9A.
9A, and this is the cross-country machine, correct?
Well, they're all cross-country machines, but this is a non-aerobatic.
Right.
You can a little more. This is really about cross-country efficiency.
Yeah.
Right?
This.
So whereas the other ones will typically, the 7 will typically have, or an RV8 would have a 360 in it.
Yeah.
Usually, this one is really designed around an 320.
It's your economy car.
It's an economy car.
Yeah.
It's
In
the economy
style.
sports car.
Yeah,
right?
okay.
But it's not an upside down airplane.
Yeah.
So if you look at the airfoil on this compared to the airfoil on a 7 or an 8, it's a really thick airfoil.
Yeah.
So it's a high lift airfoil, high efficiency. The idea is that you take this airplane, you can go up to high altitude with relatively low power and cruise and go nice and fast at high altitude, cross country, and burn very little fuel.
What does she cruise at? How fast is, I mean, efficiency wise, so we're saving fuel, but how fast are we going when we're saving
Well, so first of all, this wing lets you go really high,
really high?
above 20,000 feet
No kidding.
on a 160 horsepower 320.
Wow.
Your service ceiling, but at 8,000 feet, looking at around ballpark 180,
Yeah.
maybe 100 up to about 189 miles an hour.
Wow, that's cooking. I mean, that's moving.
Again, that's going to depend on the specific configuration and your weight. It's going to depend on
Right.
which engine you're in. So we're talking probably 160 horsepower.
Standard fighter pilot answer, it depends, but
Yeah.
you're doing pretty well. And then an 0320, I mean, those things sip gas like 4 or 6 gallons an hour, depending on
And
how you lean them
especially
out.
when you're
Yeah.
flying at the higher altitude.
Can we get into this one?
Absolutely, of course. Now, what you're going to find with this one compared to the RV14, right, is that it's a little bit different in terms of the way the rails fit and the width. So it's a little bit narrower, and this rail's just going to be a little bit higher.
This looks more like my RV or my Glacier back in the day. The yellow one we shall not speak of. I don't want to step on your seats.
That's okay. You can step on them.
Crew chiefs get mad at you when you do that.
Hell, they've been stepped on before.
Oh God. This is still
Still a good-sized airplane.
Yeah, I mean, this is still very roomy. Still very roomy. You got a nubbin over here, so this guy's like, no, you're not flying with your nubby over here.
Well, this is a demo airplane, right?
Oh yeah.
So it has a special feature. Because if I was taking you on a demo flight, and you're flying the airplane, you started to have a problem.
Uh-oh.
Now I can fly the airplane. So it's actually removable intentionally. Is what we do there.
It's a nubbin. No, this is roomy.
It is. It's still a good-sized airplane. It works really well. As far as dogs go,
Yeah,
I
this.
got a question about taking like a pilot's and paws, or if you want to take your dog. I mean, if you can get a dog into the back, then you can time down. But big dogs. If you're talking about moose-sized dogs.
Yeah, he's a big. He needs the one back there. He needs the that one. He needs his own RV10. But this is nice. This is comfortable. It's much more. Yeah, I had to take the seat out of the Glacier.
Well, it's a nice stable airplane.
Yep.
That again is really efficient. Can cruise nice and fast.
They're reasonably priced too.
Sure.
This is more, as far as
Well, you can build these airplanes,
cost of entry.
pretty efficiently.
Yeah.
So.
7 days.
Yep. That was at Oshkosh, 2018.
Wow.
Yeah, so we built. So EAA and Van's Aircraft teamed up at Oshkosh AirVenture 2018 and built an RV-12IS from the kit, from the ground up, in 7 days.
Wow, that's pretty damn.
Just over 6.5 days.
Is that working nonstop? I keep coming back to this one because.
It was. It involved about 150 volunteers total, plus about 2,500 people that learned how to do a pulled rivet, pop rivet, and each of those people put one rivet in a hole in the wing and squeeze it themselves and sign the wings. So a total of about, give or take, 150 people. The leaders, the core team leaders, was 5 of our guys from our prototype shop who led and built airplanes and maintained these airplanes over time. So they were the ones that coordinated each of 5 teams that all worked at the same time in the location to bring all the parts of the airplanes, build them, and bring them all together, and then do final assembly.
Wow.
So it taxied under its own power on the 6th day, and it flew the evening after
On the 7th.
Oshkosh.
Wow. And where is that plane now?
That plane is actually owned by EAA. So it's called the 1 Week Wonder. And they've flown it on some different tours. In fact, when it was shown at Oshkosh this year, afterwards, I flew it back here from Oshkosh to Vans, and we kept it here for a little while. It was on display, so that when we took it to a couple air shows and a couple of EAA chapters, and then some folks from, and one of our teen flight kids. So one of the things about the RV-12, and we talked about how easy it is to assemble these things, the instructions are like step 1, step 2,
Yeah.
step 3, here's the drawings to do it as you go. So those airplanes, there's about 80 of those airplanes that have been ordered and are either being built or have been built and flown over the last about 10 years now by teenagers.
Oh, wow.
So take a group of teenagers, a dozen or so teenagers, and some adult mentors that have experience. So here in Portland, we have what's called Teen Flight. And there's other programs that have different names, right, that are either in the schools or outside the schools. Ours is extracurricular. But we build an RV-12 to go from zero to flying airplane with the same group of kids over the course of about 18 months, 6 hours every Saturday.
Wow.
Every weekend,
That's-
the kids come in and the adults come in and they build that airplane together for about 6 hours every Saturday until it's done. Check us out on Instagram, Vans Aircraft Inc.
Excuse me. Oh, no. Oh!
Met a lot of that.
Usually fly with the doors off. All hot too. Don't be a douche. That's rule number 1. I can tell you now.